Hey, boys and girls, we have been doing fractions like crazy, but you know what? We're going to take a mini break from that and we're going to do some review multiplication. You might multiplication. We are experts at multiplication. And you know what? Third grade has done an amazing job with their multiplication earlier in this year. But believe it or not, we are going to use multiplication with fractions. So we want to actually make sure that we are confident in our multiplication skills before we move forward. So let's take a problem. Let's take 2 times 4. So remember, in multiplication, 2 times 4 means there's 2 groups of 4, right? It's repeated addition. So 2 times 4 means there's 2 4s. That's almost like saying 4 plus 4, right? That means there's 4 plus 4, all right? And 4 plus 4, we know, is 8. So 2 times 4 means equals 8. Okay, so this should be a very short review, short lesson, but just to make sure we are back on the same page. So let's try 3 times 5. Okay, 3 times 5 means there's 3 groups of 5. That means I have 5 3 times. All right, if we added 5 3 times, we know we'd have 15. So 3 times 5 is 15. One of the strategies we have used is using a model to figure out our problem. So if I had 4 times 3, I have 4 groups of 3. All right, so I might say I have 4 groups or 4 circles. And I had 3 in each one of those, 4 groups of 3. We know that equals 12. So 4 is 12. And we're going to spend today just going over our multiplication and reviewing it and make sure we understand it and so forth, because this skill that we learned earlier in third grade is really going to be one basis or one way that we're going to use it to find equivalent fractions later next week. I know Mr. Popko earlier this week has introduced ways for us to find equivalent fractions, but different strategies are used at different times, and everybody needs a different way to kind of make sense for ourselves. So one more multiplication real fast. All right, we had was, let's say, 3 times 9. Now, I know many of us like to use the strategy of drawing an array. Hopefully at this point, we don't necessarily need to do that. 6 times 9 takes a long time to do that. So think of any other strategy you can. If you've kind of forgotten some of your multiplication, we have a 9 strict with our hands. We could draw our groups. We have a number of strategies we can use, but hopefully we know that 6 times 9 is 54. All right, so boys and girls, I'm not going to go on and on and on and review a lesson that we had done way back in the year, and one that we became so proficient with. I know with continued practice, it'll all come back to us if it left us at all. Hopefully it's a strategy or skill rather that we've been able to hold on to throughout this year and through this craziness that's going on. But we are going to review our multiplication today. That's our goal, to make sure it's solid, so that next week we can use that with our equivalent fractions, building one concept in another.